I'm going to die. You're going to kill me.
You know what? Felix just talked about a bunyip.
A what?
A what?
Huh?
Bunyip.
A bunion?
Bunyan?
He had foot problems?
Paul Bunyan lives in a swamp?
A bunt cake. I saw your point.
The only where you can go. That's the only place.
Yeah, that's all I got.
The bunyip is Australia's terrifying water-dwelling cryptid of the swamp. Ooh. It is a large creature from Australian Aboriginal mythology said to lurk in swamps, billabongs, not the brand of surfing clothes.
All right.
Oi.
Creeks, riverbeds, water holes, and even wells.
Nice.
Puddles and small sinks.
And Outback Steakhouses.
Yes.
Bloomin' onion.
They are puddles.
So it is somewhat of a lake monster, if you will, with a taste for human flesh.
How do you spell this creature?
Bunyip.
Bunyip?
Bunyip. Oh, I'll take a bunyip right there. Don't you know that bunyip right there? That thing's a wazzle dagger.
Crikey. Look at that bunyip.
Is that an Aboriginal word?
I will get to that, Doug Spry.
Boom.
Knife.
Tell you right, I've been put in my place.
So as a taste for human flesh, human on the bobby.
Oh, another person on the barbie.
Awesome.
Especially that of women, children, and foreigners who strayed too close to the edge of the water, which is kind of rude and discriminatory in my opinion. The origin of the word bunyip has been traced to the Wemba Wemba or Wergaia language of the Aboriginal people of southeastern Australia. The word bunyip is translated by the Aboriginal Australians today as devil or spirit, but no one is certain as to what the original translation may have been for pre-contact Aboriginal mythology. So it could have had this other meaning,
Right.
but... So, the first known written English account started in the 1840s, and by the 1850s, the word bunyip became synonymous with imposter or pretender. Maybe in reference to the bunyip having so many different descriptions of various animal features.
Really?
It's like shape-shifting, maybe.
Kind of. There is no clear description of this muck beast.
Amazing. Mug beast.
He's just a big beast.
Some say it is a scaly, snake-like, feathery, horned, bearded killer.
Okay, that was
That's
12
that's
different.
So I just threw that one out there.
We're not done.
Very
Others described it as a creature with a horse-like tail, flippers, and walrus-like tusks or horns.
Okay, they're just fucking with us now.
Or a huge, furry, half-human beast with a long neck and a bird-like head.
Wow. I just figured out my entire arm tattoo.
Yeah.
It should be
My
the
entire
bunyip.
sleeve.
All the translations of the bunyip.
I feel like a lot of the Aboriginals sat down when they're going to write, be like, let's write some mythology, mate. And then they watched Labyrinth and they were like, all right.
On acid.
All of those monsters are horror beasts, I guess.
Even stranger reports, if it wasn't already strange, say it had both land and water traits like long claws and powerful hind legs. Or that it took the form of a giant starfish.
Now they are totally fucking with us at
It
this
is
point.
ruined.
Oh, it was a giant starfish it was. It was a crazy.
It had feathers, claws, and it was a starfish.
Or one large eye on its head and mouth on its stomach.
Still think starfish.
They're just having fun at this point.
Bottom line is, any one of these descriptions allows for a terrifying image of a creature who is coming out of the water to eat you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Bunions. I mean,
Bunyip.
Just
Bunyip.
disgusting bunions. So when settlers first came to Australia and were learning about this monster, most of the indigenous people weren't a lot of help in helping identify a bunyip.
Yeah, this would have been like one of the more better-known cryptozoological species in the area, right?
Right, yes.
Transmitted through folklore.
Right.
So it could have been like a manifestation of certain beliefs and ideas.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is that when a bunch of violent criminals who were shipped from England to an island and had problems with people they couldn't communicate with, they took it on them about some creature that was killing them? And it's surprising.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Oi.
Oi.
So, The indigenous people avoided swampy areas out of fear of being grabbed and eaten by Bunyip. So much so that when a settler was trying to get information on the Bunyip, he reported, this is a quote, "In truth, little is known among the native respecting its form, covering, or habits. They appear to have been in such dread of it as to have been unable to take note of its characteristics." Which explains why the description of this beast has been so all over the map. However, a large number of Bunyip sightings were reported around the 1840s and 1850s, particularly in the southeastern colonies of Victoria, New South Wales, and South Australia, as European settlers began to spread out. Eventually, newspaper reports, some eyewitness testimonies, journal entries, and physical findings of bones began to make a strong case as evidence.
So this was one of those cases where they had some kind of bones that no taxonomy could classify.
Correct.
They might have retroactively applied it to something that every culture in the area had talked about.
Correct, yes.
It's a bird-ish.
Yes. Specifically, in July of 1845, the Geelong Advertiser announced the discovery of fossils found near Geelong. It stated, "On the bone being shown to a native, he at once recognized it as belonging to the Bunyip, which he declared he had seen. On being requested to make a drawing of it, he did so without hesitation."
What was it?
His drawing showed
Oh, can't wait.
the characteristics of a bird and of an alligator.
Because he had to really pull one out, you know? His friends were going to be so pissed. He was like, "We're going to go with this, Sam."
I had to narrow it down because there were about 5 different traits knocked off. Now we're just down to a crocodile and bird.
We're not done, Sabrina.
Son of a bitch.
It has a head resembling an emu. With a long bill, at the extremity of which is a transverse projection on each side with serrated edges like the bone of the stingray.
Whoa. It had barbs?
Yes.
Like a porcupine, kind of?
Its body and legs partake of the nature of an alligator. The hind legs are remarkably thick and strong, and the forelegs are much longer, but still of great strength.
They look like alligators.
What if it
Yes.
was? That's just how, like, what dinosaurs. Their transition wasn't so smooth, and between birds and dinosaurs, and they were just like, "Oh, I'm this now. I'm super awkward. I'm not gonna last long."
Or maybe,
Dinosaur teen.
perhaps, it was an alligator who was born as a bird. It's just the outside.
Yeah.
A similar story to Caitlin.
So it's a lizard in transition?
It is a...
Trans Bunyip?
A trans bunyip.
A trans bunyip.
So the same article included a story about an Aboriginal woman being killed by Bunyip and a man named Bumbaurin, who showed several deep wounds on his breast made by the claws of an animal. It is said that its method of killing its prey is by hugging it to death.
Jeez.
Oh, now it's
He just
sweet.
cares.
It's misunderstood.
Yeah.
He just cares too much.
It's like Edward Scissorhands of the alligator bird emu type.
Yes. Terrifying.
That old chestnut.
I just long for physical contact.
So William Buckley, an escaped convict, wrote a biography about living with the Waltherong people. So he escaped and lived with them for like 30 years.
Oh, okay.
He had actually seen the Bunyip. He had actually seen it. And said, because, we're going to believe an escaped convict who lived with Aboriginal people for 30 years, "I could never see any part except the back, which appeared to be covered with feathers of a dusky gray color, and it seemed to be about the size of a full-grown calf. I could never learn from any of the natives that they had seen either the head or tail." Buckley also said that the creature was common in the Barwon River and cites an example he heard of an Aboriginal woman being killed by one. He emphasized that Bunyip was believed to have had supernatural powers. But there are always two sides to everything.
Of course.
And there are some Indigenous Australians who view the Bunyip as a protector, sent to Earth to punish evildoers. More recently, the Bunyip has become a beloved little creature to the younger generation.
Oh, like a teddy bear.
There's even a cartoon version of a Bunyip in children's books portraying the Bunyip as an adorable little friend.
Hey, just come here, you little.
Maybe like we haven't seen a bunyip because we're not really looking. Maybe they're small. Like if we look under some sort of bush around here, we're bound to find a bunyip.
Yeah, I agree with Sabrina. Let's hunt a bunyip.
Bunyip.
I ain't scared.
I mean, we don't really know what that is in there, guys.
It's
But
a
I guess.
bunyip.